Okay, Samson, thank you very much. First of all, those who know my background knows my affiliation with the Muslim community, where I'm coming from, which is Otafi in Kumasi. We have a big Zongo community. Secondly, people who hail from my community, be it Hausa or Dagomba, are also from my town. So if you know Kumasi very well, from Tafuzongo to Moshizongo, through to Habuabu and Aswase, we have a big community, and these are people who are kinsmen. And apart from that, my affiliation with work that I do in northern part of the country and the people who have had impact in my life coming from that part of the country. Last year, the team worked on bylaws, and then if you remember, something you gave an opportunity for us to speak on it. And what the team have decided to do is that every year we'll look at one area of the law which we think is very significant, which relates to either enforcement, non-compliance relating to it, or need reform in that regard. Now, on the bigger issue of this particular matter, we happen to do a case where, unknown to the woman, he had been divorced by the husband in Ghana, and that was ordinance marriage. And it caused us to interrogate it. These are areas that after school or somebody has assigned to you, you don't actually pay attention to it. Then we decided to look at an aspect. We have a bigger project relating to Marry Right Ghana, in which our core focus is on marriage and family. And in the course of doing that, we realized that there appears to be a dangerous law, which we consider as an unjust law, which has existed in our statute book as far back as 1907, which basically say that an unregistered Islamic marriage happens to be a nullity. And most of my friends in the Islamic community, whenever we talk about Mohammedans, I understand that when we did the research, it came out that they do not consider themselves as Mohammedans, so they even have a problem with the name. So what I explained to them is that unfortunately, the law equates Mohammedan to Islamic. Anybody who celebrates marriage in accordance with Islamic tenets is deemed to be a Mohammedan in accordance with Ghanaian law. We may not like the law, and that's all part of the conversation that we are having, that how best can we put measures in place to repeal this particular law. Now, if you look at Article 35 of the Constitution, there is an obligation on the part of the state to give all Ghanaians access to public services, and public services include registration of marriages. Now, our research will show that there is no system of even registration of marriages, and these are things that is a major concern to me. How do you say one of the people who was very influential in my life, and she's still alive, Matamalam in Otaf, who sells kuku, they have been married to Malam, and over the years, you tell him for about 42 years of marriage, and you say that he is not married in law. And whenever there is an issue that comes up with it, we have to deal with it. So for me, we decided to look at it because I'm personally biased towards it. I think that matters relating to Zango communities have not been brought, in my respectful opinion, have not been brought to the major highlight. And especially, this is a fundamental issue that relates to the family. And there is an obligation on the part of the state to protect the family. And for that matter, it is important that we discuss these issues.
Right. And I see that quite a number of people provided what you call invaluable assistance in the process. I've seen Justice Said Kwekujan, the Deputy Attorney General, Dinah Sunaba Dapa, Angela Dwamena Boaji, Sheila Minka Premo, Kweku Aribik, is that how you say it? Dr.
Yes,
Ali Nacha, yes, Dr. Ali Nacha, of course, our sister Hanifa sitting right here, Seidu Nasigri, Ali Gafaru, these are all lawyers. Then Rashid Kwesi Ichiafo, Adam Awal Mohammed, Alhaji Salim Ango, Alhaji Al-Hassan Suleiman, and Miss Hawa Ibrahim, as well as Honorable Yusuf Isaka Jaja. So how did you go about this research to start with?
Okay, so this research required us to look at the framework of the law. and basically try to speak with people who the law particularly affects. So if you look at the framework of the law, the beneficiaries of these, or the duty plays of as basically members within the Islamic community. And so there is a need for you to speak to people who are within the Islamic community. And interesting bit is that in terms of the intelligentsia of the community, some of them are aware, and there are measures that are being put in place to try and address them. Only that we think that the particular non-registration invalidity clause should be dealt with emergency, so that we will look at other matters holistically. And then other institutions that is mentioned relates to the Ministry of Interior. The Ministry of Interior, because the requirement of those who have to sign on to the document happens to be a Mohammedan priest licensed by the Ministry of Interior. Then the other aspect relates to local government. Now, in terms of local government, is because the Register of Marriages with regards to Mohammedan or Islamic marriages is the district or municipal chief executive. So even ordinary registrar of marriages at the assembly cannot deal with it. The law specifically mentioned the district chief executive. And then most importantly to other members of the community. So and with that one requires you to speak to the Ministry of Local Government. And sometimes remember that when we worked on the bylaws, we had a good relations, and I could say that certain progress has been made, only that we think that more work needs to be done in that area. So these are the key people that relate. And apart from that, too, the various sets of the Islamic community. So we had an opportunity of speaking to Ahmadis, the Tijanis, among other people relating to it. And Sigri happens to be the chairman for the Zongo Development Fund. And we felt that it was important that we had a conversation with him regards to it, and the principal marriage officer.
I'll return to. Okay, go ahead.
With regards to the Ministry of Interior, our question was very simple. What is the system in place of licensing or gazetting Mohammedan priests, which the law imposes on you? And the answer was obvious, or was quite shocking. It was zero. There's no system of registering Mohammedan priests. What it means is that even if you want to register your marriage, you and the bride's wali and the people involved want to register your marriage, there is nobody, and we have worked on the data on licensed venues and licensed gazetted marriage officers from 1907 to date. We could not find. And working with and funny, interestingly, when we work at the archives, a lady there who was also a Muslim, Aisha, was very influential in terms of getting us the data with regards to the old laws and licenses. And till date, we have not seen a document or gazetted document. And gazette is always published by Assembly Press. We could not see any.
So let's